Hi everyone. Today I am going to tell you a short story, and this is my original story. The name of my story is A Unique Interview. So let me begin my story. Perhaps this is the first unique interview that you have ever seen for a high profile job. 5 judges were sitting to cross question the candidates. And on one side of a big circular table where the judges were sitting, a huge TV was installed on the wall so that the judges and the candidates all can see it. And all the judges were legends. So after hearing the answers from the candidates, they were giving their verdict. So the candidates were called one by one, and the questions via the pictures on TV were asked. And those questions are very typical and completely in a new format, new style, and exceptional from the other interview questions. A long queue was waiting outside, and all the candidates were very excited. In due time, the queue became shorter and shorter, and at last 3 candidates left. The first one among the 3 was called by the attendant. He entered the room praying God in his own mind with a smiling face. "Hi, young man, please be seated," the first judge told him. And he immediately responded very politely, "Thank you, sir." And he took his seat and sat there, just waiting for the question. Then the first judge said, "Well, we are not going to ask you any questions from your academic career, okay? Now, are you ready?" The young man said, "Yes, sir, I'm ready. You can ask me whatever questions you want." And they all smiled. The judges smiled. Then the first picture was shown on the TV. The judge said, "Look at the picture and say something about it." The young man very keenly looked at the picture. Then he said, "Sir, I can see that 2 trees on the roadside are focused upon to give some message. One tree is full of fruits because of which its branches were lowered down, and it is ready to spare its fruits for the benefit of the people, while the other one stood erect, having no fruits at all. So the message is, a man who has knowledge and wisdom is always humble, polite, and generous, while devoid of all these qualities, a man becomes proud and arrogant." The judges smiled. Then the second judge started. "Okay, now look at the screen and answer the question, whatever you think. Answer it according to the picture you have seen." Then he looked at again. He said, "Sir, I can see a bifurcated road where in the center of the bifurcation a man stood in a thoughtful posture. And among these 2 roads, one road is straight, having both the sides full of trees and looks very peaceful. And the other road leads to the market building, and there are other buildings there also, and very clumsy. And I think these two roads give some message. That is, according to me, if a person goes on the straight, peaceful road, he can get peace. But it all depends upon it's unpredictable. But a man who will go in other road has to meet the problems, has to face the problems. And life itself is a challenge. One should face the challenges and face the challenges, and he should solve it boldly. Then only his competency will be proved. And going on that road also one can get peace if he wants. So I think the man should prefer to go on the second crowded road. The judge smiled, said, okay, let the third judge say something. Then the third judge began. Well, young man, now look at the picture and give your statement. The third picture came on the TV. The young man just looked at it very carefully. Then he chuckled. He said that, sir, it's a big giant wheel. And I think life itself is a giant wheel. And the people full in that giant wheel having different expressions. Like few people are very happy, few people are screaming out of fear, and few people are waiting for the thrilling moment. So what I mean to say, life itself is a challenge, and we have to meet all these phases in our life. But we have to face all the phases boldly. Like we have the happy moment, fearful moment, and also, scary moment and bad moments also. And at one time, everything will be finished, disappear. So, it's nothing new that ups and downs always going on in everybody's life. Then the judge smiled. Well done. But I think you are giving the answers becoming slightly emotional or philosophical way you are telling. Then the young man said, no sir, I just, after looking the pictures, I am relating those incidents to the real life incident. That is why I am giving this answer. Then the judge said, okay, now listen to the fourth judge. The fourth judge smiled and began. Well, gentlemen, young man, now you look at the fourth picture. The young man looked at the fourth one. It was simply a tree was seen on the screen and having very few branches, and the thin network of a root portion. He then again smiled and said, sir, in Panchadasadhyaya Purushottama Yoga, I read in Bhagavad Gita where Lord Sri Krishna explained the meaning of life to Arjuna like this only. I am relating this picture of the tree that what Krishna said, life is, human body is just like a upside down tree. The thin network of the root is compared with the human brain, and the other part of the body is compared with the branches of the tree. That is why he told to Arjun that human body is exactly like upside down tree. I don't know furthermore, but this much I read from Bhagavad Gita. Then the fourth judge said, "Well done." Now, this is the turn of the fifth judge. The fifth judge, and by that time, all the judges were looking at each other and smiling. Then the fifth judge said, "Okay, young man, now this is your last question. Look at this picture and give me your statement." And the picture was 3 buildings only. In one building it was written police station. The second building was a court, and the third picture was a hospital building. Now, this candidate, he just smiled and said, "Sir, one should not do any such thing. By that, he should be asked, he should be questioned by the police. One should avoid such things so that you would never face the lawyer, means you would never go to the court." And the last one, the hospital, that one should take care of his health, for which he would not be required ever to go to the hospital. One should avoid all these 3 things. Now, nobody can control one's life, but still then, one has to take care of all these 3 things. That is what I heard from my father when I was a kid. That is why I just compared these 3 buildings according to what my father told me. Then the judges just looked at each other and clapped and said, "Well done, Mr. Young Man. Congratulations." Thank you. This is the end of the story. Now, have you ever seen this type of interview? However, one request, please visit my site thegulpa.com, where you can see beautiful stories of young writers. If you can visit, I think they will be encouraged. Thank you so much once again.